Johnny Creamer. You have probably the coolest name in like our real estate network. I feel like you have the coolest name out there, but like people hear Johnny Creamer, like a lot of people know who you are,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. How does that like? Obviously, you're not like a celebrity, but like you are known, very well in the area. Does that feel good at this point, or
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, it does. I don't think about it every day, but when I kind of have those moments where I'll go to like a meetup or something, and like Johnny
yeah,
Graham, I had somebody tell me recently, it was like, dude, my dream has been to sell you a deal. I'm like, dude,
that's
come
so
on,
funny.
like bring me a deal then.
Yeah,
But yeah, it feels great.
yeah,
But again, there's times where I get off track, I
sure,
forget about, how great we have it as,
yeah,
life can distract us.
yeah,
But yeah, it feels good. It feels great.
yeah. I was
I
just
love doing
always like
business and
before
good
you,
business, right? It's like
yeah,
that's what it's all about is like I think I have a good reputation because I've done good business and I've
sure,
stood by my word. So
yeah,
that's like the most important thing
yeah,
with me is like I tell people all the time, I'm like, I'd rather lose money on a deal than back out of a contract
sure,
every day.
yeah,
It is what it is. I might
yeah,
impulse buy, but I'm not gonna back out, I
sure,
promise.
yeah. Well, I mean that's commendable. Integrity is one of our core values
Yes,
at the company,
100%.
and do you feel like you always operated that way, or
No, not at all. Honestly, when I first started doing business, it was all about the money.
yeah,
It was until I started building a relationship with the Lord, and then I was like, all right, I need to focus on what's my true why,
yeah,
and kind of backpedaling a little bit.
yeah,
Because of course, as a young age, my story was a little different, but
yeah,
I felt like money was always going to get me out of me at every situation. I'm
yeah,
like, money, 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 money. If I can make money, I can get out of a situation. So I kind of, unfortunately, it was kind of a learned behavior as a young kid, and I didn't have no guidance to
yeah,
guide me in the right direction and stuff like that. So
yeah,
money was a huge thing for me growing up. Like I have to make money or else I'm not gonna eat. So
yeah,
like how am I gonna make money?
yeah,
And then I realized it's my core value with putting a seller first to me is like huge now, right?
yeah,
So I'll get off track too. Like I recently did. I bought a house from somebody who lost their house in a hurricane. And we are going through all these things and we're going through just these milestones with the contract. It was actually the house I'm building on Reddington. And we get to the end of it, and the agent had told me, hey, buyer takes care of their closing costs, seller takes care of theirs. At the end of it, all the closing costs were on my side. Like $3,500 difference that I wasn't expecting.
yeah,
And I call the agent, I'm like, dude, I'm not paying these. All I was thinking about was the $3,500. That's
yeah,
all I thought about in that moment.
yeah,
And then I'm literally on the phone with this guy and I'm like, I look at the HUD and I'm like, you're only taking $1,000 commission? He goes, I'm John. I'm just trying to help this lady out. And I go, what am I doing? I'll pay that $3,500
yeah, well,
because I was just like,
yeah,
even though we had that agreement, this person just lost their whole house. Now insurance might have paid them 500 grand and they sold it for 500. Maybe they made out.
sure,
But I kind of went back to what am I thinking? I'm thinking about $3,500, not about these people who just lost everything they had
yeah,
potentially.
yeah.
So
We definitely had one, commend you for that, as well.
yeah,
That's huge, and for you to recognize that the agent probably went through whatever they went through, and they're only
yeah,
you may be making $1,000 on the HUD, but when it comes, actually into your pockets, whatever
yeah,
their splits are,
yeah,
whatever,
exactly,
they're not,
yeah,
they're working for free.
100%.
Um,
That's why I saw that and I was like, yeah, wow,
yeah, but last year, thankfully, knock on wood, wherever it is, um, last year really exposed, I think, like who is operating
oh
with
yeah,
some core values, with some
100%,
integrity. Because with the hurricanes, there was a lot of opportunity to just kind of
and
take
unreal.
advantage, lie to people. Yeah,
That was a big change in the market too last year.
yeah,
Like those past 3 years, and that's another thing. It's like people trying to survive.
yeah,
Like, okay, I'm not. Anybody could have made money from 2015, even before that, up till 2022.
sure,
Anybody could have made money. All you had to do was buy it and sell it. That's all
yeah,
you had to do. Do
yeah,
two different things. Now you got to get a little creative. You got to know what you're buying, know what it's selling for, know that the market has dropped 12% over the past year, certain markets.
yeah,
So you have some people who are like doing whatever they can to survive. And then you see people who are trying to survive, wholesalers, stuff like that, who are just like whacking people over the head, lying to people. I can't tell you how many people go into contracts with the bait and switch. Like
hmm
so many. I have wholesalers who are like, I locked it up for this, knowing I have to like, what?
yeah,
Dude, you locked it up. Like a lot of people will lock them up. It's a very
yeah,
horrible tactic that people are
yeah,
doing. And it's like, I don't know if I want to do business with you anymore. I know
Yeah,
you're bringing me deals, but you can't do that.
yeah,
That's just
yeah,
not right. Because
yeah,
ultimately, I'm the end buyer.
yeah.
So
Yeah, the whole the bait and switch to like going into it. No, like I've experienced. There's been wholesalers who will get close to that finish line where they know, okay, that seller is now making
desperate.
moves.
Yep.
They maybe put a down payment on a house or
They're
something like
moving
that,
tracks.
and they,
Yeah.
yep, all that, and then okay, we need this at a lower price, and you're not going to last very long.
No, no,
Once that's
no.
exposed.
Not at all. No good Google reviews.
Yeah.
Not on those ones at
No,
all.
no, not at all. And that's a, we take pride in our Google reviews, and we do a lot of wholesaling. Obviously, we obviously sold you a deal last month, I think. And how do you stay on top of everything that's changing, and how have you been pivoting to make sure that you're still making
That's
money?
a good question. Being more conservative on your buy side, you
Yeah,
gotta be. If it's, I mean, we're currently testing the market. We're currently today, we are still testing the market. Like this is a
yeah,
this to me is all a test because the market has changed. Buyers are not buying as aggressively, nearly aggressively as they are. So it's being a little more conservative for sure,
yeah,
and kind of knowing your market data as well. So like certain zip codes, year over year, what the average has gone down. Like Pinellas Park, I was just looking at Pinellas Park last night. 33781 is 9% year over year. You're talking 9%. That's a lot. You're
yeah,
talking a $350,000 house is now only worth 310
yeah.
sale wise. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
So now we got to adjust our number. That house last year we might have bought for 240. I'm only paying 200 now.
Yeah,
And we're doing that. So we're taking the I have to buy a deal. We're basically beating every deal down.
sure.
Why do I not? Looking at it like, and this might sound a little crazy, but what can I do to not buy this deal? I know but I'm like, all right, hopefully this is, nope, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. That's a good deal.
Yeah,
No, it needs a roof. Oh, it needs windows. Oh, it needs AC. No, I can't pay 220 for it. I need it for those things minus that
yeah,
original number that we wanted to pay for it. And basically just being very conservative on the buy side. You make money when you buy.
yeah,
That's all there is to it.
yeah. You really do. If you buy, if you buy and your calculator's telling you you're maybe going to make 25, 30 grand, that could get eaten up.
Very conservative on my sale number. So if I'm seeing comps, and we're doing active comps, like not
Yeah,
comps from December, we're
sure.
doing comps from the last 3 months. So if I'm seeing a comp at 350, I'm gonna say I'm gonna sell at 329, 339. Absolute,
Yeah, yeah,
absolute most 339. We'll go, a couple percent low. And then we look at our comps and say, all right, I know I'm gonna outperform that finish wise.
yeah,
And then we base our number off that. And then I make money as an agent. I also our holding costs, whether it's cash, I still account for holding costs. Something
yeah,
I learned from Bennett.
yeah,
I never did that. He's like, dude, you gotta put 10% on your cash at least.
yeah,
I'm gonna do 12 because I'd lend money out at 12,
yeah,
13, 14, 15%, and then I'll work the numbers backwards, and then I'll throw like just a $10,000, and then I'll minus 10 more off
sure.
there,
Yeah,
and then I'll see what the numbers come out to be.
yeah,
So I try to be conservative there.
yeah,
I would say 5-10% on top of the market change,
yeah,
just to be conservative. And
yeah.
then if the numbers still work, I try to make
That's,
40, 50 grand on a flip typically.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That
And
is,
then if it doesn't work out, then, I just had one that I was supposed to make 40 on. And unfortunately, it's 2 houses off Seminole Boulevard. And it's every single person. I thought it was going to happen, but I wanted to buy the house. And every single buyer is the busy road, the busy road, the road noise, the road noise, the road noise, the road noise. So I'll make 10 on this one. And it's
sure.
okay.
Yeah,
Got to
yeah,
let it go. I'm not married to it. Let it go and move on. Because the holding costs, month after month, I'm losing money. And the more you do, the more times you cross the road, the more times you might get hit.
yeah,
And that's just the way it is. When the more deals you do, you're not going to win every single deal.
yeah.
So
Well, that's if you're making those margins and you're still being super conservative, like that's awesome. I know you've built a really good network, so if they're bringing you deals, that's huge.
yeah,
So when I told you I wanted to have you on here, obviously we're connected through real estate. It's how we met, but faith, leadership, fatherhood, being a good husband, like that's really what I want to talk
yeah,
about. And I've noticed your faith. I've noticed how much you love on your kids and all that. And I want to real estate to me is like the vehicle to get to that point where we're really enjoying those different
Yes, for sure.
moments and roles within our life. Um, I know you. I don't know too much, but I know growing up, you did deal with a pretty tough childhood.
Yeah.
How do
Yep.
you think that that's kind of shaped how you're trying to mold your kids, or just be there?
Yeah. Just be more present. You know, I had an American dream up until I was basically 11 years old when my mom passed away. So like, I knew how it felt to be loved because my parents loved on me. Like it was
Yeah,
like kisses every night, tucking in every night. And then I lost mom at 11, and then everything kind of just went like complete 360. It was like the perfect, the American dream. The kids at school used to be like, "Oh, you're the rich kid," which we weren't rich. We just, you know,
sure.
my dad was successful. He had dropped me off in a Corvette, and it was like, "Oh, you're the cool kid in sixth grade." So, and then everything changed. And I never want that to happen with my kids because I knew how it felt when I was 11 years old to lose my mom and look in the mirror and just like, what am I going to do? I
Yeah,
lost my mom. Like, so I never, ever, ever want like my kid's 11 now.
yeah,
And I have those real conversations with him now because he's at that age. And I'm like, look, man, this is what happened when I was 11. And I'm not saying this because I want you to feel bad. I'm saying this because I want you to appreciate your mother
yeah,
and love your mother and appreciate dad being here. And my dad was still there afterwards and he loved me. He just wasn't, you know, he had a lot that happened to him.
yeah,
So just being present, being there, and never wanting to put them through anything even remotely close to what I went through between the age of 11 and 16, 17, 18 years old. So, and just being present, being present, being present. And I mean, that's all I can say.
yeah.
Like, I'm so grateful, so blessed to be able to have this business. I look up to the Lord all the time. I'm like, how did you bless me so much?
It's awesome.
Like, why me?
Yeah,
And then I hear him say, because I know what you're going to do with it. And that's why we do what we do now, you know, and just try to help the world as
yeah,
much as we can. We still got a lot of work to do.
yeah. So, what are you doing? You're involved with Seven Figure Foundation,
Yeah.
correct? I've seen that.
Yeah.
You've done a couple mission trips. How are you taking, the good that you're receiving in your real estate business and putting it out there?
So I just started doing the mission trips last year. So our first mission trip, I was connected with Ryan Whitefield
Mhm.
through a business deal, and I saw that he was doing mission trips, and I was like, "Well, I get involved. I've always wanted to go on a mission trip. You know, I want to go help out.
Yeah,
I think it'd be cool." So I went to El Salvador, and I went there, and then I came home. And I always say the mission trip was like, we went there to help these people. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. Let's go on a mission trip. And like the feeling I had when I was there. There a lot happened at home while I was gone, plus the things that I witnessed there. Like
sure.
even then, I was still even going into that mission trip. I kind of still had that, you know, money. Money wasn't top tier, but it was very important
Yeah,
to me.
big
And I'm not
focus.
saying it's not important, but I didn't worship. I felt like I almost worshiped money before,
Sure.
which unfortunately I just did. I didn't mean to. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't, whatever. And I went there and I saw how happy these people were that and it didn't have it. And
Hmm.
I'm like, so you're telling me these people are living in dirt, literally, sleeping on beds that are made of plastic bottles, and these are some of the happiest people I've ever seen. Um, so I left there. We built a home, met these amazing missionaries. We prayed together. We cried together. We just built this crazy bond that you would never think that. I never thought that was going to happen on a mission trip. I thought we're
Yeah.
going to go build a house. We're going to feel good. We're going to go home.
Yeah.
And then I left there. It was the bus ride home. I met one of the missionaries. Well, I worked with him. I was on his team, but we really connected on that one bus ride. So I tell everybody when you go on a mission trip, don't ever like there can be any moment where you connect with somebody spiritually that like will last forever. And I connected with one of the missionaries, Joshua from Mexico, and we talked. And he's just like we're telling each other stories. And he telling me his story and my story. We prayed together. There was a spiritual connection, big time there,
Yeah.
and we are very connected to this day. We talk all the time, and a couple missionaries, honestly. So I left there, and I didn't do enough. I knew I didn't do enough. I was like,
Sure.
I got to do more for these people who are giving their whole life to Christ to just help the world and just live off donations. So I started sponsoring a couple of them monthly. So nothing crazy. I'd sponsor like $150 a month, $125 a month, whatever it is, just helping them out.
Yeah.
And then of course I committed to doing the mission work, going and being boots on the ground. So then we just got back from Mexico a couple a month ago, beginning of September. So we went to
Okay.
Mexico, And then when I left El Salvador, the feeling I had was like on top of the world. You go on
Yeah.
a mission trip, come home, you just help these people, you feel good, the Holy Spirit's with you. I was like, I need someone else to feel this. Like I want other people to feel this. So I started inviting other people who I felt called to invite to Mexico. I brought 5 more people with me
Wow.
to Mexico. Again, life changing experience for them. I could see it in their eyes. They cried, they prayed, they were connecting, and I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. This is what I wanted. I
Yeah.
wanted other people to feel this. And then going from Mexico, I've invited about 18 people to Costa Rica coming up in March. I think 7 or 8 have already committed and signed up and paid and are rocking and rolling. So
Wow.
on top of that, we're boots on the ground, the ripple effect of inviting other people and then also integrating, raising capital raising or fundraising within our business,
Mm.
right? So, like teaming up with title company, hey, will you match donations if I bring you
Oh,
so
awesome.
many deals, which I have one that's doing. We're trying to basically build, my goal is to build 2 houses a year, at least, from our fundraising.
Wow.
But also helping randomly too,
Yeah.
right? Like I have one of the missionaries is raising money for a car. And we threw a post on Facebook. It's like, hey, anybody wants to donate to Jeshua's fundraising for his car, I'll match it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sean Castro. He donated $2,500. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
matched it. Boom. We just
Damn.
raised 5,000
Nice
bucks
job,
for him.
Sean.
Young kid, man. I commend him
Sean's
so
cool.
much. He's so awesome. But just doing things like that, stepping out of your comfort zone, standing up to ask. We were leaving Mexico, or we were in Mexico. We were at one of the, so we call it fireside after the build days. Everybody sits around and talks about their experience and
Cool.
what changed them and um how the trip impacted them and kind of shared a moment or two. And at the end of it, the director got up and said, we're raising $20,000 for the next trip or whatever it was. And she's like, for anybody who donates, I'll give a shirt to, so you can donate. And I was messing around. Well, I wasn't even messing around. I was like, hey, why don't we just stand up and raise the money right now? There's 60 people in this room. Let's
Yeah.
raise it right now.
Yeah.
And Cody looked over at me and he goes, go ahead, get up and do it. I said, don't tell me twice. So I got up and said, I'm donating $1,000. Who wants to match me? Me. We raised $11,000 in 5 minutes in that room.
That's awesome.
So it's doing little things like that, stepping out of your comfort zone to help
Yeah.
out. Somebody's got to do it. So
Yeah.
it's just doing stuff like that, man.
That's cool.
And it feels great. And I don't do it to feel great. I do it because I think the Lord's calling me. He's like, I bless you. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So
That's
got
awesome.
a long way to go.
It's okay that it feels great if it's authentic.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. No, and it
So
does. It feels so good. It feels so good. Again, to be able to, right? We're blessed to be able to do that. There's so
yeah.
many people who want to, who just unfortunately can't.
Yeah.
But yeah. And it's authentic. It's like, I'm not posting on Facebook, hey, I just did this, I just did that. There's no, but I used to do that. I would literally hand a homeless guy money on the side of the road and I'd take a picture of him and be like,
Yeah.
is it authentic or was I doing it for the attention?
Yeah.
And it was
You see that a lot.
for the attention.
Yeah.
I knew it was, but I was never attentive to being like guilty of that. Like I thought it was okay. And then I realized, am I doing it to be authentic or am I doing it for the attention?
Yeah.
Actually, there was a moment, not to keep blabbering on, but there was a moment that I honestly changed my whole outlook on that when I was walking out of Publix and I was opening a door for somebody and they didn't say thank you. And it ruined my day. And I said, that person is not grateful.
Yeah.
But I was basing it, and then I literally asked myself, I said, was I opening that door for them to truly open the door and help, or was I doing it for the attention? And then it hit me and said, I did it because I wanted to thank you. No, I don't care. I have no expectation. And that day, that moment, I literally was like, you know what? I'm not going to expect a thank you because I'm not doing it for the thank you. It's,
Yeah. That's powerful.
yeah.
It's a subtle but really big
Yeah.
like
To
shift.
be able to
in
realize
mindset.
it was huge
Yeah.
for me because it was like underlying. I didn't realize it and I kept just doing it. It was just it was a way of living. It was like, whatever. But then I realized and I was like, you know what? Am I being truly authentic? No, I want to be truly authentic. I want to live like that. I want my kids to be truly authentic. We don't need it. We're not doing it for the gram.
Yeah.
Like,
That's difficult, I think, to do because, everyone wants that validation or the admiration for doing things.
mm-hmm.
And, you have this internal battle, when the jar comes around in the donation jar in church, you could put money in or you can not put money in. And your next like your life after that's going to be the exact same. Um, so like you're not. I don't know. I guess I think about it as like if you're sometimes like if you're not going to get that validation, why are you going to do it? And that
Yeah.
means like you're looking at this all from the wrong perspective.
Yeah.
You know, there's a greater good, greater greater purpose in you holding the door for someone
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
donating or something like
I'm not
that. It
doing.
doesn't
Yeah.
it that is an ego thing. It's all about you if you're wondering why am what
Why?
is
Why?
next if I
Yeah.
do this. So
Yeah. Yeah. What am I getting out of it?
yeah,
Right? Like nothing. I don't need nothing out of it.
yeah,
I'm doing it because I truly want to help you.
yeah.
Or yeah.
All right, so Faith has well, actually, before we move on to that, I want to. So you're raising money. You're trying to get people onto this next mission trip.
Yep.
Where can people go if they wanted to, get involved? I don't want to skip over that.
Um. So I could give you guys the link, the sign up link.
Okay,
They can text me directly.
okay.
I
Where can
can
people find you? That's probably good.
Facebook.
Facebook,
Johnny Creamer,
Johnny Creamer.
Johnny, Creamer like coffee creamer.
All right.
I'm not really too active on Instagram.
Okay.
I got like 400 followers.
Well, you're the real Johnny Creamer on
The real
Instagram.
Johnny Creamer. And then they can text. I mean, I'm open out there. So my
Cool.
number is 727-241-9269.
All
Shoot me a
right.
text, especially if it's to do with mission work.
I like it. Yeah, not to. I mentioned earlier how you got the coolest name, but and not to sidetrack us too much, but I always found it funny when you would your like Instagram story was like you put in creamer into your cappuccino or something like
Oh
that.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is just great.
That's why I actually I want to start. And Jarrett had gave me he got me a coffee cup that said coffee with creamer, and I'm like, ding, let's start a podcast or let's start a morning show like
That's cool.
coffee with creamer where we wake up.
Yeah.
I don't know, but got to do it.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it and do
That's
it.
awesome. Felix is right here.
Yeah.
All right. So when did faith become, because from what I understand, faith was not always in your life
No,
or a focus. So when did that all, come to be? When did you start turning to the Lord?
a few years ago, we live in our house, the house we live in now. Our neighbor next door was selling their house. Older people have been there for 30 years, and somebody new was moving in. Very like for us, I almost bought the house because I didn't want neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, who's gonna move
Let's
in?
have a big
Oh
lot.
boy, oh boy, oh boy. Not even that. It was just like neighbors can be scary, right? You're like in your house. What if who knows who's gonna move in? Anybody can move in.
Anybody.
We got young kids, and
Yep.
we're kind of they were showing it, and we're like, oh, hope they don't buy it. Hope they don't buy it. Hope they don't buy it. And then a couple moved in, and we got to know them really well. And one day we went out to dinner. Younger couple with a young baby at the time went out to dinner, and just again we connected. One day we're going through some things with my wife, and he's like, "Come on over, let me pray for you." I was like, "Pray for me?" Okay, it's kind of awkward. Like, but okay. So he literally went in the garage and he's praying over me. Or he's my age, 35. I'm not sure how old you are. I'd say our age.
Sure.
Um,
33. So
okay.
or no,
Are you
yeah.
really? Oh, wow, young buck. But yeah, he's praying over me, and I never felt like this ever, but I felt like this was real. This was authentic. Like, holy moly, somebody is actually like, I got someone. Like, I never really felt like I had I've had friends.
Sure.
I've had a friend growing up. I've had friends, but I never had like a friend that we connected spiritually. And there was just like this crazy feeling I had. And he's like, I went back to my wife, and I'm like, yo, like, I want to be better for you. I'm not saying I was bad,
Sure.
but I just want to be a better leader.
Yeah, of
And
course.
that's where the faith started right there. And then I would always like talk to him, and we'd come over and we would, have late night conversations and just talk about life and all these things. And I would always tell him the same thing. I'm like, I just ask, we were really open. Like I was like, why did the Lord bless me with what he blessed me with? And he was the one who told me, he said, because he knows what you're gonna do with it. He'll just do the right thing. Just keep doing the right thing. So I got off the phone with him this morning, right before.
Yeah.
I had to pull over the side of the road because he was praying on the phone with me about I'm going through some challenges with my son.
Okay.
And that's where it all started with him, man. It's like he gave me faith in humanity again, really. Not saying I didn't have it, but it's like it's a cruel world we live in.
Yeah.
And who knows? Discernment's one of the hardest things.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like people look like they're doing and they're real, but really you find out they're not. And we've had so many instances in life like that to where it's like we gotta walk it carefully.
Yeah.
But that's where it all started. And then I just kind of just tried, and I still battle with it, staying obedient, trying to be perfect, not be perfect, but trying to do the right thing every single moment, and then you catch yourself, slipping up or cursing or something
Yeah.
like that. It's like we're only human, but
Yeah.
that's where it all ultimately started, and the mission work like definitely fueled it big
Yeah.
time,
So this is
big
all
time.
very recent.
Yeah, within the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't grow up going to church. We went to church for Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
At a young when we were a young couple.
Yeah.
We felt
Because it's
great,
just like
but
what
we
you do.
wanted to get out of there and watch football and
Yeah.
go. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about church. I would go into
Yeah.
church and I'm like, "Is this over yet?"
Yeah.
But now, like, we haven't been in attending church much lately at all. And honestly, that's something that we got to change. We need to go back to church. And there were some struggles we had with our 5-year-old in the preschool program and stuff
Got it.
like that. So we kind of stepped away for a while because it just wasn't fun for him to go there. He was always getting in trouble.
I gotcha.
So we took a break from that, and then we do, we kind of became the church, right? It's like just constantly talking about the Lord and preaching the word and just making sure we're staying active in the word and I'm not perfect. I'm reading my Bible, but I stick my nose in there sometimes,
Yeah.
and just ultimately just trying to live a daily life of worshiping the Lord, like everything we do. Like I don't
Yeah.
listen to rap music at all,
Yeah.
none. I used to listen to some ghetto music,
Yep.
but none at all. Literally, I'm like elevation worship, and I just like that's what my kids listen to now.
Yeah.
They used to Brightfoot Creep and all that. Like, will you, Dad, put it on? They don't even ask that no more.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Dad, can you put on Waymaker? Yes,
That's
yes,
awesome.
yeah. So it's just I think living that life, living that, and it's not hard. It's just we're used to living one way. We just
Yeah.
got to you get used to living this other way
Yeah.
and making it a norm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have sounds like over 30 years of habits that you're trying to break. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
understandable.
Yeah,
So tell me about your kids. How many do you have?
3.
Three. What
Yep.
are the ages?
11 is my oldest, 6 and 5, all boys.
Mm. All boys.
Yes.
You have to like you're obviously the role model,
Yeah.
for them. You have to set a pretty solid example of what a man's going to be.
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
Just my 11-year-old is probably the best example to talk about during this. Just talking about life, like talking to him about real life
Mm-hmm.
things. The other day, one of his I don't even want to say friend because it's just one of the kids in the circle they hang out with.
Sure.
Called him,
Okay.
and
That
he's
works
like,
back.
yeah, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, STFU about something that he sent him on like one of their group chats, which he needs to be out of that.
Sure.
That stuff I'm like, I want to give him what he wants,
Yeah, of
but we
course.
also have to monitor it and stuff like that. And he told me, and that's one thing is like my son tells me he's
That's
very
cool.
open,
Yeah.
so we have a very open conversation. He goes, "Look what so and so said to me,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "And what'd you say back?" He goes, "Nothing. I deleted him." Like,
Good move.
gave him dap. I said,
Yeah.
"Good move." I said, "You know why I said that? It's because he's not happy with himself." I
Yeah.
said, "People don't say that because that's true about you. It's because normally people say things like that because they got something going on with themselves. They're,
Yeah.
you know." I said, "So you can't let the Four Agreements. It's a good book." I was like, "That's one of the agreements. Don't take things personally." So we talk about stuff like that. I just really get into conversation with them. I don't just blow things off.
Sure.
And it's important to actually talk to your kids
Yeah.
about real life because it's a real world and it's only getting worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, just talking to them and just leading by example, not raising your voice. I used to yell a lot.
Yeah.
I used to curse. I used to do these things like it was okay.
Yeah.
And I thought it was okay. Until I realized it wasn't. I'm not saying I'm perfect now, but
Yeah.
I catch myself now and I'm attentive to it. And if I happen to do yell or get loud, it's like, hey, look, I didn't, I got a lot going on here, or I might be something going on in business, or I just found out something happened. And it's like heat of the moment, and a lot's going on, and I yell and I'm like, hey, buddy, my bad.
Yeah.
Just making sure they know that, it was a mistake or we make mistakes or,
Yeah.
yeah, just being very open with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Do you have any routine with them on a daily basis, weekly basis of like time with them, or what is as an entrepreneur? It's really easy to let work
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
take over everything else. So how do you set the boundaries and kind of what does lifestyle look like so that you're
Yeah. So I drop them off every morning at school, which I absolutely love. I typically pick them up every day unless there's something going on. So every morning I wake up with them. We make our coffee, and I make coffee at home now. We don't buy coffee at Starbucks. Um, and basically get them ready for school. Me and my wife, and we either drop them off together or I drop them off. I go play a little pickleball. and typical come home, hang out with my wife, maybe go to a few projects. Very rarely. I try
Yeah.
not to even go to projects at all anymore.
Yeah.
And then pick them up from school. And right now is a busy season because we got baseball. My 6-year-old has art club. He's got all the things studying. So there's a lot. We got a lot going on with school.
Yeah.
We get home, we'll typically do schoolwork, but it's a battle right now with like shutting work off because I'm not physically on like in the field.
Yeah.
So I'm like managing everything from my phone.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a battle that I face every single day. And it's
Yeah.
not easy because I'm getting a lot done. I'm doing a lot, but I also have to understand I do got to shut it off. So there's nights where I'm up at 9 o'clock at night getting things done, but I try to shut that down between those 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Because they go to bed. They go to bed pretty early.
Gotcha.
So we do eat dinner as a family. I would say 2 to 3 nights a week. Um, Again, it's tough. Sometimes the younger kids will eat earlier. They'll go to bed. Then me and my wife, my older kid, will eat, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But we spend a lot of time together. There's days where not this year, but last year we would. Schools changed. The rules have changed with like tardy with absences
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff, big
Gotcha.
time.
Yeah.
So we'd take off school. We'd go to Venture Island. We'd skip school. Now that Elliot's in kindergarten now, it's a little different with missing school. It's not
Sure.
like preschool anymore.
Yeah.
My oldest is now in middle school, so it's like, and he's in pre-algebra in 6th grade. So
Oh wow.
there's a lot going on now. So
Yeah.
it's school is very important, right? Not saying it wasn't before, but it's
Yeah.
more as they get older. It's like we got to be on top of it.
Yeah.
But spending the weekends with them is great. We've got property up in Brooksville, so we'll go up there, stay up there for the weekend, ride 4-wheelers, dirt bikes.
That's cool.
Today, before I was here, we were doing science experiments, me and my 5-year-old, because he's home for the next few days.
What did that look like?
Um, we were just doing putting food coloring in different glasses, putting
Okay.
paper towels, and the water moves
Sure.
and fills up the glasses, and he just wanted to do science experiments. So
That's fun.
I Googled some
Why not?
science experiments, and then he rode his electric bike, and then mom got home, she had an appointment. So I try to have one-on-one time. And another cool thing I like to do with each child is like have one-on-one time.
Yeah.
So Sunday, me and my 5-year-old went and did omakase because he loves to eat everything.
Oh, nice.
So we went to Sushi Show Rexley in St. Pete.
That's a good spot.
And yeah, especially for
Yeah.
So we went and I gave him the whole signature omakase, and
That's
he ate.
cool.
His favorite thing was the shrimp
No
heads.
sake, I hope.
Yeah, no sake. No, I actually had some sake. But yeah, doing stuff like that, like having that one-on-one time, or
Yeah.
me and my wife go on to date night once a week. Weekend we go on date night.
Cool.
So twice a week we try to have a date night, which is super important. We never did it, but probably 3 or 4 years ago. So every now and then we'll bring one of the kids.
Okay.
Hey, you want to come on date night with us?
Got it.
And they get to go enjoy time with mom and dad, just them.
Cool.
So that's important too.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to fall in the routine of, oh no, this is our time.
Sure.
We try to make it, we're it's not all about us.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is just us. Tonight, mom and dad are just gonna go.
Yeah.
But making sure you're being intentional on that one-on-one time is super important, I think.
Yeah.
And then having that, take you out tonight. You can go out with us one night. You can go out with us one night.
That's
and
cool.
also doing things as a family. Like
Yeah.
last night after baseball, we went and got pizza at Slice in Madeira Beach and
Nice.
stuff like that.
I love slice.
Yeah, it was good.
You mentioned the date nights with your wife. Has that been something that you've noticed? I don't know how long you've been doing it, but how important has that been? It's something that I'm not the best at, and I recognize that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's something I need to get better at. But I'm just curious how you've found that has contributed to success of a marriage.
We never did it. We've been together for 16 years, so we've been together basically since we were.
Have your wife.
Yeah,
Kudos.
yeah, really, yeah. We've been together 16 years. We really never did it. It wasn't really a thing. It really wasn't something we thought of.
Yeah.
Like we're like, okay, we'll go whenever. We didn't make it a priority. Like now it's like on the schedule.
Yeah.
It was like day night Wednesday, day night Saturday, day night Tuesday, day night Friday. So I think it's important just to have that, because especially with 3 kids, especially with 2 kids, 1 kid, whatever, especially with kids in general, life becomes all about them. And one thing I've learned was the order of operations with life, right? It's like God comes first, because then if God's not first, your relationship with your wife might not be where you want it.
Mhm.
If your relationship with your wife might not be where you want it, your relationship with your kids might not be where you want
Yeah.
it. So it's like be that example and making sure that's your relationship with your wife. I don't want to sound harsh, but it's more important than your relationship with your children. It really is
Yeah.
ultimately because you're here and everything, you know.
Falls
So
underneath.
making sure you nourish that and again, I don't exactly remember the question, but we started doing it about 4 years ago. It's like
Got it.
3 or 4 years ago. We
Nice.
never really thought about it. It was not a thing. It was like date nights, date night. We'll go
Yeah.
whenever we have time,
I see
whenever we
you
feel
every
like it.
day, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But that one-on-one intentional time is important.
Yeah.
It really is. It really, even though it's only for a few hours, and even though you might just go get dinner and come home, which typically we don't do nothing else. Like go get dinner, we come home, we get home to the kids.
Yeah.
So it's only for a few hours. Every now and then we might go to Tampa and go walk around. Or one night we went and rented scooters,
Nice.
drove scooters around, whatever.
Just something
It's
silly.
fun. Yeah, something just to do.
Yeah.
I think it's super important.
Yeah. I heard today, coincidentally, that your marriage is more important than your relationship with your kids. Because I mean, obviously, as you just kind of pointed out, like it's God, then it's you and you and your wife, and then everything kind of how you have that set up is going to impact everything else.
100%.
But you're going to get to a point one day where your kids are no longer there. So if
Yeah.
you're not nourishing that marriage, during that
Yes.
time when you
Yes.
get to that point, what are you going to have? You're not going to have a great
Yeah.
relationship,
Yeah.
and then that empty nest
You hear
syndrome
a
or
lot,
whatever it's called is gonna,
unfortunately. Yeah.
yeah, definitely gonna get in the way.
Yeah.
Um, Recently, I saw that you were putting a lot of focus into systems within your business.
Mhm.
How what systems have really given you, I'd say, the most freedom so that you can afford to, take the time and be there with your kids, be there with your wife, be off from 3 to 6 or, whatever that window of time is. What have you found has been really helpful in that?
So I think the biggest struggle with a business owner is letting go.
Yeah.
And that was mine ultimately. It was like, I want to run everything. I want to do it because if I do it, I know it's going to be done right. But understanding that it's okay to mess up. It's okay if the drywall doesn't come out perfect because we can correct it. So kind of giving the opportunity to whether it's subcontractors, whether it's project managers, whether it's your guys on W-2, but giving them the opportunity to take over and stepping away and saying, "Here, you handle this." Whatever. One of my best phrases is, "Whatever you think's best." And people are like, "Why do you say that?" I was like, "Because first off, and I don't say it to make someone feel important. I
Sure.
say it because I truly mean whatever you think is best. A, it's gonna make them feel, hey, he putting trust in me.
Yeah.
Two, they're gonna it's gonna be able to filter whether that person actually knows in a sense what
Yeah.
they're doing,
Yeah.
and it kind of shows me, wow, I can trust in that person to make judgments and make calls. So it's a win-win all around, I think. So I always allow myself to kind of let go. I've never used to do this at all. I would always be like, oh, send me a video, let me make sure it's perfect, da 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 da, whatever it is. Go check on the project every single day. I can't look at 20 something projects
No.
every day. I can't do it. It's
No.
impossible. So kind of just and delegating, trust, letting go, delegating, saying, "Hey, you take over and you do this." I never did that. I never had somebody who was running projects. I never let someone just pick out the materials. It was me picking materials. It was me ordering materials, or my wife. I was sending her Amazon links at 9 o'clock at night. Granted, I still do it
Sure.
because I do about 3 to 4 myself.
Okay.
I'm managing about 3 to 4 projects at a time. I figure if I can have them manage 5, them manage 5, I can do 3 to 4. We can grow together. And
Yeah.
then until I find another
Yeah.
crew or another group or contractor that can kind of do a couple at a time too. And I don't mind it. I like to say that.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I used to beat myself up about like not shutting it off, but then I realized it's okay if you enjoy it, right?
Sure.
It's like if you truly enjoy it, it's all, what's wrong with that? Like, so I enjoy staying busy.
Yeah.
Delegating important. I think it's important to figure out what you're best producing from what you're doing versus what they're doing.
Sure.
I don't need to be ordering materials right now, but to get through this next season, maybe I'm gonna send a link to my wife for now until
Sure.
we find another group who can take over a couple more projects.
Yeah.
But definitely letting go, understanding you're gonna. So one of my biggest things was paying more, right? I would get a quote that's 80,000 for a flip. I'm like, I could do that for 55 or 60. I'm not paying them 80, but time.
Yep.
Right. So, okay, yeah, I'm going to pay an extra 10, 15, $20,000 for this project, and I might make XYZ less, but now I can scale more. And then rather than making 80 or 60 or 50 a flip, I might make 30, 40, or whatever it is, understanding that there is value in less attention on each project, or but less profit, more volume in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy who's going to do 200 flips and make $10,000.
Yeah.
Never in a million years would I do that.
Yeah.
I'd rather be the guy who does 10 flips and makes 150 a flip.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
So I found my sweet spot. It's basically, I can do XYZ here, I can make this much here, and it actually runs smooth.
Yeah.
So, and it's again, trial and error. We're in business. I might scale down. I might go, I'm not doing this many ever again. I'm going to just focus on the money making ones.
Sure.
But we're learning right now. It's a new stage in our business. We're seeing what it is. We're testing the market. We'll see in a year. We'll pick up. Maybe we can say, hey, let's see what happened over the past year and how did it work?
Yeah. Are you trying to always stay? You're primarily single family, right?
I am single family only.
Is that kind of the end game, or do you have
I don't know
aspirations?
I really don't know. I get that question a lot where people are like, "What's your goal? Where are you going?" I'm like, you know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is what I know now. This is what I've done. I never thought I was going to do this many flips at once. I never thought I was going to scale the way we're scaling now.
Mm-hmm.
Thought we were going to when I started, I thought we were only going to buy rentals, hold rentals, and we're going to be these landlords and have all these rentals, and I realized 2022 was a time to let go, and I sold it all. I sold every single property I had, but like 3.
Really?
So it was like, I'm happy I did.
What was the sign?
My mentor at the time told
Okay.
me to do it. I would have never done it if he didn't say sell everything. I would have held on, and I would have been married to those rentals, and I would have just thought I was going to own the whole neighborhood and then redevelop it one day because that was my plan.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, sell them. I mean, I might have. There could have been something else that could have happened, but at that time, he was like, look at your equity. My cash on cash is this, but what's your return on, my return on cash was this, and then what's your return on your equity? And I was like, oh, my return on equity, let me do that math. That was 5%. I'm like, wait, so if I sold this, I can lend my money out and make 12%. So you're telling me I can make 7% more a year on XYZ? Oh yeah, that's much smarter. Let's just sell everything.
Yeah.
And we did, and then the market dropped, and then especially the market, because most of those were mobile homes on their own land.
Okay.
So those went down. I mean, I had some that I was selling for 180 in 2022, 180,000. Today they would probably sell for 130. So you're talking 10, 20, 5%. Yeah. So I'm glad I sold everything in 2022.
Yeah.
I'm still offloading. I got like 2 or 3 that I kept. I had some tenants in there that I wouldn't never remove just because certain things. They were great tenants. I just didn't want to ever. I was like, you guys will live there forever as long as you keep paying your rent.
Yeah.
So, and I have some that are still like that just won't kick out because the money.
Sure. It's other important things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. So you mentioned your mentor. We're obviously in the IMG. I don't know if you're in any other groups, but
nope, you'll see IMG now. Yeah.
How have you found that guidance from people who are in probably shoes that you are wanting to have or wear yourself, or they're just in a place that they have the experience. How has all that helped you in your business, in your life?
Yeah, I mean,
obviously I know my feelings, but
yeah, so I've only been in a few groups. Never really had like a mentor, should I say. So I was in a group basically years ago that kind of dissipated, that kind of just, went their ways and kind of scaled down. And then I joined EIMG. So I think having your, I can't say I have I know some people, some investors, some entrepreneurs who have like a lifelong mentor that's been there, that they're just like, that's their mentor. I don't really I don't think I have that.
Okay.
I really don't. In business. I definitely have You know, I love being part of EIMG. The community aspect from EIMG is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is. James has done a great
It's a
job.
great group. I don't see no other group like it in the Tampa area. I really don't.
Yeah,
And it's about the people.
yeah,
It really is. It's like it's literally about the community. It's not even about James doesn't even make it about him
yeah,
at all. It's like literally everything is done is about the community, which I absolutely love and adore. So I think it's important to be part of a group for sure.
yeah,
Like when people ask me like, where should I start? I said, you need to join this community right now.
yeah,
They're like, oh, what? What? I got to join a group and pay? I'm like, listen, you're asking me and I'm telling you, this is the group you want to join if you're just starting,
yeah,
100%.
yeah,
And just go in there and shake everybody's hand and meet them and tell them what you do.
yeah.
And if you're not doing it, tell them you're doing it. Not, I'm not saying lie. I'm saying
Sure.
manifest it.
Yeah,
Tell them, hey, I'm buying cash, houses cash, but I don't have the money. We'll find the money. Don't worry about that. If you find a deal, we'll find the money. Don't think too far ahead. So I think having a mentor is super important. I can't say from experience from the I have a mentor
sure.
or a lifelong mentor myself, but being a part of a community is huge. Just
Yeah,
being in the room, being in the group. I'm not really as active as I want to be in EIMG. I definitely want to be more active. It's tough.
it is.
It's really tough. It's tough, especially with the kids.
Yep.
You know, baseball and activities after school, and so I'm not as active as I want to be. I want to get better at that for sure. And I know as life goes on, and you know, the bird leaves the nest, things will change in the future, and that's what me and my wife talk about it too. And we're like, one day we won't have the kids in
Yeah,
the home, so we're gonna enjoy
yeah,
while they're
absolutely.
here.
Yeah,
But being part of again, being in that room, being in the group, having those people just to be able to call and chat with. I've built really solid relationships outside of business in that group.
got it.
Like just people I know I can like depend on.
Yeah,
As in like a spiritual brother. Like I
yeah,
can call you and I know that you're genuinely there for me.
yeah,
Like not about business, not about nothing. I know you're there for me.
yeah,
So that's really nice too. And to be able to have, you know, go into it with like, oh, this is business and then get that out of it is like a huge reward.
yeah.
Like that's
That's the
like,
upside.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, yeah, you
yeah,
meet generally good people. And then, you know, you gotta have, you know, definitely be able to decipher.
yeah,
Because there's a lot of people too in this world who are in it for themselves.
yeah.
But
Yep, you run across those, and
yeah,
thankfully, I think if you got a decent head on your shoulders,
yeah.
you can decipher
Exactly.
who those people are, and who's in it for true collaboration and good business, and who will probably be here for a long
Exactly.
time
Yeah. That's the thing.
versus,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
On the topic of like networking groups and relationships and all that, have you always been someone who's had a large friend circle, or did you kind of run on your own for a little while?
Um, so I had friends, but I was never like I stuck to myself.
Yeah,
I really did.
yeah,
Because I was very I could decipher really well growing
sure.
up. Like I would see people, I'd meet people, I'd talk with them. I'm just like, no. So I wasn't like, you know, going to parties and hanging out and we had all these groups. I did have a group growing up, like that we'd go to. We'd go, you know, I was sleeping on couches for a while when I was a kid. So it
Yeah,
was like I would go sleep over at his house. Then finally got my one bedroom apartment in Lincoln Shores off 4th Street. I don't know if it's called Lincoln Shores anymore. And then it was like we hung out at this house and kind of, you know, then we'd go out, we'd go to bars and party and, you know, 16, 17, 18 years old. And that was kind of the house we hung out at.
yeah,
But after I met my wife, I was 19 when we met, and then it was kind of it was just me and her really,
gotcha.
doing what I did when I was younger, and just kind of just not really. I didn't really hang out with much people. I didn't trust people.
Yeah,
I really didn't.
yeah. I will never compare how I grew up to how you did, because thankfully both my parents are still alive.
Yes.
Definitely didn't have a great relationship, but um, I did not. I would choose a different path,
Yeah.
if I were to have the choice of how I grew up again. But I found that as I'm in a place where I really am reflecting on how that has kind of shaped me, and I'm not good at big circles. Not good
Mm.
at having, I like a small. I have two or three really good friends, and I like it that way.
Mhm.
But I see flaws in that at the same time, you know.
For sure,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but you know, as I've faith deep getting deep into faith, and I can't say I'm deep at all right now, but I'm trying, working towards it. But something that keeps sticking out to me is that like the devil will prey on the one
Mhm.
who's, you know, solo on their own. So I've been just kind of looking at that in the different kind of arenas that I'm in, business or,
Yeah.
you know, just personal life, friend circles and all that. So yeah, I wasn't really sure just because again, just having how I grew up, it kind of forced me to just kind of stay on my own path and not really be too worried about other people. And,
Yeah.
you know, it has its pros and cons. You know, I see people for who they are pretty easily.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good
That's a
at
good
that.
trait, yeah.
But you know, there's flaws to it as well.
For sure. Yeah, I felt like I was missing out growing up too,
Sure.
because you'd see like the big groups, the big circles. All these people would hang out, and they'd all like a lot of and like even with me and my wife, we didn't really hang out with many people at
Mhm.
all. And I was a little like, wish we had more friends. I wish we had more friends. But
Sure.
ultimately, going back and looking now on it, we've closed
Mhm.
many doors, me and her, because they were toxic. They were toxic relationships. So we'd start hanging out with certain people, and they were like the way they spoke to each other. It was like we don't want that around
Yeah.
us. We don't want that. So you know, it's hard. I think to because you know naturally we want to be friends with her. You know, like we want to love on you, but
Yeah.
we've also got to look out for ourselves and our relationship. And as hard as it is, that doesn't work for us. You know, and even getting closer to the Lord, it even gets harder.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
You know, hanging out with people who are like putting on certain music and the kids are around and I'm like, hey, gotta shut this off. My kids don't listen to this music.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You see how you grew up? I'm like, yeah, but things have changed.
Yeah.
So and that's okay. That's
Yeah.
all right. I still love you. I still pray for you. We're just not gonna hang out much.
Yeah.
And we have friends for sure. We don't try to get too close to too many people.
Sure.
It's just you gotta especially with the kids. And I don't want to say the kids are the reason, but it's easier when you have kids because like if we were single and we wouldn't have much more going on, so we'd probably hang out with a lot more people.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a shoe that fits every foot,
Yeah.
and this is the one that fits ours. So
Yeah. Good way
yeah,
to look at it. All right. When you are no longer here, what do you want your kids to say about you?
man, I want them to remember me being around, present. I
Yeah.
don't want to hear all dad did was work. All dad did was like that's my biggest thing. I remember when dad did this. I remember when I want to create memories. I want to take them up to the property and watch them wreck the dirt bikes. Like it's like I want to create those memories. I remember a lot of memories when I was a kid, a lot. Even you know back to when I was 6, 7 years old, even maybe before then. So I want to leave that impression. I want them to know I treated their mother right.
Hmm.
Dad was a good husband, so I want to be a good husband.
Yeah.
Um, and that I was a man of God, that I trusted in the Lord, and then I allowed the Lord to come into our family, and we talked about him, and you know we understood where we ultimately came from and what he did for us. Uh, Therefore, they can. I just want to you know leave a legacy of good.
Yeah.
Good. I want them to. I don't want them to say nothing. I don't want them to be able to say a single bad thing about me.
That's a that's a solid mission.
Yeah.
um okay, man. Well, that's all I got for you, dude. I really appreciate the conversation
Awesome. I
and getting to
appreciate
know
you
you.
having me.
And yeah, as I said, like I see what you're doing, and I commend you for obviously the real estate, but I like just that you're a good man.
I appreciate it.
You know, it seems like a good husband, a good father, and
Trying. It's a battle.
yeah,
It's not easy.
always gonna be a
And
work in
because
progress.
you're gonna have that enemy, I say, or even the Lord. I'll say, you know, everybody's like, I hear it a lot where people say, you know, the enemy's attacking, which I feel that that's the case in certain situations. But I also feel like God will do things because He wants you to He wants you to learn.
Yeah,
So there's sometimes where I feel like that's the enemy. No, I feel like that's the Lord doing this, not to hurt you, not to do none of this, but to teach you a lesson because
sure.
we might need to learn a lesson through
Yeah,
this or whatever it is. So
yeah. Yeah, he works in
mysterious
interesting
ways.
ways.
Yeah, very much so, man. So, very much so. And being attentive to it is important,
Yeah,
right? It's not just like, all right, we're just gonna be the horse with our blinders on and just move forward.
yeah,
Like watching out and looking for the signs, and they're not coincidences. There's sometimes it's like, oh, that's a coincidence. That no, you should look a little more into that. So one day at a time. It's not easy,
yeah,
and you got to just keep showing up,
yeah.
being
Well,
obedient, and being a good dad and good husband.
yeah. Well, I appreciate the
Yes, sir.
message you put out, content you put out. You've been huge help for the community. I know you're
Awesome.
always
Yeah.
putting out like something that someone could take,
Yeah.
a nugget from. You dropping nuggets all the time. So
Yeah. I want to do more. I want to do more of that.
yeah,
So
cool, man. I appreciate it
yeah, cool. Thanks for having me, brother.
for sure.